हेलो फ्रेंड्स। आज हम लोग बीए पार्ट थर्ड की इंग्लिश लिटरेचर की एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट पोएम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं। दैट इज़ फ्रॉम होम कमिंग एंड इट इज़ रिटन बाय आर पार्थ सारथी. ओके, so today I'm going to discuss the summary of this poem with you in few points, and before that I'm going to give you the introduction of this poem. So let's start it. The poem From Homecoming has been taken from the 12th section of Homecoming, which is a part of R. Parth Sarthi's long poem Rough Passage, published in 1977. Okay, so this poem From Homecoming, it is taken from the 12th section of Homecoming, which is a part of R. Parth Sarthi's long poem Rough Passage. So, under the title of Rough Passage, there are few poems, and one is Homecoming, and from that we have this poem, or we have this extract of poem, and this Rough Passage is published in 1977. In this extract, the poet talks about a teacher critic. Okay, so basically this whole poem revolves around this character of teacher critic. It is a long poem divided into exile, trial, and homecoming. Okay, so I was telling you that this poem from homecoming is taken from the 12th section of homecoming. So here I want to tell you that this long poem named Rough Passage has three parts. One is exile, second is trial, and third is homecoming. So we have this poem from homecoming from this third part of Rough Passage, that is homecoming. I hope this introduction is clear to you. Now let's start the summary of this poem. Okay, so as I was telling you that there are few points related with this poem, and through that we are going to have the summary of this poem. Okay, so few points are given here. Number one is worthlessness of teacher critic. As I have told you, this whole poem revolves around the character of teacher critic. So R. Parthasarathi talks about the worthlessness of this teacher critic. Poet talks about a teacher critic who is incapable of writing a single line of a poem but writes reviews of poem written by other poets. Why is he worthless? Because he is not capable of writing any single line of a poem, but what does he do? He writes a review. He writes reviews of poems written by other poets. So that way he has become a critic, because he writes reviews of other poets' poem. Okay, so I hope the first point is clear to you. Now second point, again it talks about teacher critic only. So now Parthasarathi says that this teacher critic has wrong education, and he has a failed marriage. Okay, so why he says so? Poet says that he went to wrong gods from the start, and marriage worsened his position all the more. So poet says that maybe this teacher critic has gone to wrong gods, and from the beginning even, and his marriage has worsened his position all the more, and ultimately his futile marriage, and we can say unsuccessful marriage, has worsened his position all the more. He had not read the Greek poets who would have elevated his thoughts and would have taught him the futility of marriage. So why did he go to wrong gods? Because uh, he did not have good education, and he did not read the Greek poets who would have elevated, who would have heightened his thoughts, and who would have taught him the futility of marriage. So here again in the second point he is talking about the uh, talking about the we can say critical things about this teacher critic. Now next point is number 3, and this is uh, now uses unfair means to earn money. And now this critic teacher critic, I would say, teacher critic uses unfair means to earn money. He earns a lot of money by criticizing the works of poets of the past. So he picks the poems of uh, poets who used to write in past, and he used to criticize the works of those poets. He makes money by cunning and dishonest means, and with the blood of dead poets. We can say that he is using the capability, the potential of other poets to make money, and through that way we can say that he was cunning and dishonest, because he was making money by the blood of dead poets. Okay, so these 3 points I'm going to summarize for you. Up till now we have done that this teacher critic is worthless, and he was incapable of writing a single line of a poem, but he writes reviews. Number second, we have seen that wrong education and failed marriage, because he has gone to wrong gods, and he didn't go to Greek poets who would have elevated his thoughts, and he had a failed marriage also, futile marriage, or we can say that he could not understand the futility of marriage. And number 3, we have seen that he has used unfair means to earn money, because he had acquired cunning and dishonest means or ways. Now the next point is he gets work and success. So although this person is somewhere cunning and dishonest, and he could not write even one single line of poem, but then also he gets work and he gets success and he makes money. It was long after that he learned that he had no talent. He had no talent, but word comes to him easily and effortlessly. But what happens, that words come to him easily and effortlessly. He gets invitation to attend conferences and he makes it a point to attend them. Okay, so now number 5th is sarcasm honors worthlessness. Now Parthasarathi is being sarcastic in his way in this poem, and he puts sarcasm on his worthlessness. His means teacher critic. Parthasarathi sarcastically calls him his eminence. His eminence, that means the person who is of high honor. But sarcastically, why does he say so? Because he was not of any worth, and wonders where he would be without the poet of classical and modern world. So he used to pick the poems of classical and modern poets, and he used to criticize those poems. So Parasarthi is saying that where he would be without the poets of classical and modern world. Okay, now next point is number 6, about not being capable of. And now Parthasarthi criticizes him because he was not capable of anything. Poet uses the quote of G.B. Shaw for him. Okay, so here it is a very good quotation by G.B. Shaw, and which is very apt for this character of teacher critic. And this statement or quotation says, "He who can does, he who cannot teaches." Okay, so it fits for the character of teacher critic, because G.B. Shaw says, "He who can, the one who can will do or does. He who cannot then he teaches. The one who cannot do anything, he teaches. Thus, the teacher critic could not compose a single line of poetry, so he became a teacher. And now, this character of teacher critic, he becomes a teacher ultimately because he could not do anything. He could not write even one single line of a poem. Now, friends, to recapitulate this poem, I have written here some critical notes given by Parth Sarthi, and we are going to see few points here, and that is number one. Parth Sarthi writes in simple language, but he strongly condemns the reviewer who can articulate about nothing. So critical notes, for that we can write that the language of Parth Sarthi is very simple, but he strongly condemns the reviewer who can articulate about nothing, who cannot describe anything. His reviews are full of verbosity. Verbosity, that means use of high fashioned words or full of words. Now, point number two is really many critics and reviewers can't compose a single line of poetry, but these fellow teach, write reviews, and attend conferences. Okay, so they are of no worth. They cannot write a single line of poetry, but these fellow means these kind of teacher critics, they teach, they write reviews, and they attend conferences. And now the last point of this critical notice: such people are not inspired beings, and they are not inspired beings. They are not having ethics, they are not having values in themselves. Okay, friends, so this was the poem of R. Parth Sarthi from Homecoming, and I hope this poem is clear to you, and you could see that within few points we have understood the summary of this poem. So friends, if you have liked this video, do share it with your friends, and do write me in the comment box what are the poems in which you are finding problem, so that my upcoming videos would be based on that. And do subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed it yet. Okay, until we meet again, bye bye.